just started my third week working the night shift at a 24-hour supermarket. My job was to stock shelves, clean up spills, and rotate perishables. Pretty dull stuff. But one night, just after 2 a.m., something happened that still keeps me up. It started with a cold breeze that blew through aisle 7. I figured it was the freezer doors left open again, but when I went to check, everything was shut tight. Still, the air felt unnaturally cold, and I swear I saw fog on my breath inside. And I noticed the freezer door was slightly ajar. Not the public one, the big one in the back, where we store bulk meats. I thought maybe Jerry, the butcher, had left it open, so I went in to close it. I immediately noticed footprints in the frost. Bare footprints. Long, narrow, and the air was wrong. Stale. Like something had been in there too long. I followed the prints, which led behind a stack of frozen turkeys. That's when I heard it. The whisper. Not like a voice from outside. It was in my ear. "You're not supposed to be here." I turned around fast. Nothing. I ran out and slammed the door. I reported it to my manager the next day. He just stared at me and said, "That's the second time this week." Turns out, years ago, an employee had died in that freezer during a power outage. They said he tried to claw his way out. No one talks about him. But sometimes, he comes back, looking for help or revenge. Either way, I don't stock frozen foods anymore. As a night shift security guard in a hospital, you get used to weird stuff. People moaning down, empty halls, lights flickering, alarms that reset themselves. But what happened in ER room 6 was different. That room hadn't been used in weeks. It had been sealed off after a patient, a woman in her 70s, died unexpectedly during a routine checkup. Nothing unusual medically, just died mid-sentence. Staff said she'd been talking to someone invisible. One night just before 3 a.m., an alert went off. Motion in ER 6. I figured it was a glitch, but protocol said I had to check, unlock the hallway gate, and walk toward the door. It was ajar. I pushed it open. The light inside was on, flickering. The monitor, long disconnected, was flatlining. A steady, slow beep. And there, sitting upright in the hospital bed, was an old woman. I jumped and shouted, "Ma'am, you're not supposed to be here." She didn't move. She just turned her head slowly and said, "He's coming for you next." I backed out fast and called for a nurse. When we came back, less than 30 seconds later, the room was dark, empty, the bed still made, the monitor off. Security footage showed me entering, but no one else. Later that week, another guard quit after claiming he saw her too. We all avoid ER 6 now. Management says it's under renovation, but we know the truth. That room is never really empty. I used to drive night routes for a third-party logistics company. One of our clients was this massive warehouse compound about an hour outside the city. There were 5 buildings labeled A to E. I usually dropped off at A or B, but one night dispatch gave me a delivery to Building C, a place I'd never been to. When I arrived, the gate was open, but the lights were off. I called my dispatch, and they said, "Yeah, just drop it at the bay, someone will check it in." So, I backed the truck up to the dock and climbed out. No one was around. The place was dead silent. I opened the trailer and started unloading with a pallet jack. That's when I heard a loud clang from inside the building, like a steel shelf being tipped. I called out, "Hey, delivery," but got no answer. Then the door behind me slammed shut. I panicked and pulled, but it wouldn't budge. My phone had no signal. I walked through the dark interior, using my flashlight. Every step echoed too loud. Then I saw someone, just the outline, tall, wearing a hard hat, standing completely still at the end of the aisle. I said, "Hey, the door's jammed. Can you?" The figure stepped forward, without moving its legs. I turned and ran. I could hear it dragging something behind it. Not footsteps, scraping. I found a side door and burst out into the night, called dispatch again. Furious. They paused and said, "You're not supposed to deliver to Building C. That building was condemned last year after a collapse. No one should be in there." I quit that job the next week. Still wonder what I saw and what it wanted.